Please welcome to the stage Yona. She is Deputy Store Manager at Selfridges. Just come. If you're not going to clap for her, please clap for her jacket. Look at the woman's jacket. Come sit down next to me, Yona. I am so happy to be sitting next to you.
Hi, everyone.
Look at you. Can we just take a second for that jacket? Sorry, I know it's embarrassing, but you wear a jacket like this and we need to give you a second.
You got to credit Rick Owens.
Is it Rick Owens?
Yeah, not me.
Might take me a few years, but it's all right. It'll be okay. Wow. It's so good to have you here.
It's good to be here. Thanks, Jay, for having me.
Yeah, I feel like there's going to be a lot of people in the room that what you're going to say is really, really valuable. So I'm going to start off by talking, just tell me about yourself. Just tell me about yourself first, because we've got a little bit of time, me and you.
Okay. Yona Christodoulou. Imagine that in assembly 25 years ago in school. That was brutal. And I was really naughty. Yona Christodoulou. I was like, oh, God, I need to change my name. But I celebrate it now. Yes, you've got to celebrate yourself. Grew up in Stepney Green on a council estate in East London. That was an experience, quite rough back in the day. Still a bit rough, but I still love it. I'm still in East London, I'd never leave. Mum's French-Moroccan, immigrant. Dad, Cypriot, Italian, born and bred in East London, Cockney. My mum was a dressmaker in Brick Lane.
Wow.
Dad was a scaffolder, so yeah, real working class. I was expelled from school quite a few times. I was proper naughty.
Tell me one of the reasons why you were expelled.
I was mouthy.
Okay.
I was an activist. I'd say now I was an activist.
That's good reasons to be expelled. Don't get expelled.
Don't get expelled.
Yeah.
But it just goes to show, you know, you live and learn from these experiences. But yeah, back in the day, I'd say I was a bit of an activist, and I spoke up for what I believed in, and that got me in a bit of trouble, but that's worked in my favour nowadays, I'd say.
That's amazing, Yona. I've got notes here, and this one really inspired me, that you worked your way up from Kurt Geiger.
Yeah, but the most important job, I'd say, was my first job.
What was that?
In a Caribbean cafe on the Mile End Road. Dealing with grumpy builders at 7 a.m. is not to be underestimated. And then dealing with being sold out of jerk chicken and rice and peas at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon is also not to be underestimated.
That is so funny.
I didn't realise that they were such an important combination. So I used to be like, well, we're out of jerk chicken, do you want some plantain and rice and peas? Nah, that weren't running. But that was a really important job for me. I was 13, so that was illegal. I was earning £2 an hour. My dad was like, you're going to go and get a job. You're going to learn what it feels like to earn your own money. It was his friend's cafe. And that's what really taught me how to like hold myself in a working environment, I suppose. Like working in a cafe is hard. You have to be pacey. You have to show initiative. You need to be resilient. I was called lots of different weird things. And waitress, little ting, baby girl, you know, all of these things. But it taught me how to like talk. It taught me how to communicate. It taught me how to hold myself, have a bit of banter. And when I went into my first retail job, which was in Miss Selfridge in Selfridges about 26 years ago, I smashed it because I could handle a really busy environment. And I started to build on that initiative that I'd learned in the cafe. And I was a supervisor within 3 months.
Wow.
And that's why I nearly failed my degree, because I love that job so much. I didn't fail it, but I nearly failed it.
Wow. Do you know what? I'm going to pause on a couple of things you said there. The first is Christodoulou, because my surname before my surname now was Omolulu. And Omolulu in school, oh my gosh. So I get it. That was an experience having a surname like that, but I absolutely love it. I rep Nigeria to the ends. So yeah. The second thing was, we're going to go back to the cafe, but I want to touch on something that's really important, and I don't want the young guys to miss this. You said you were an activist.
Yeah.
In school. And it always strikes me, because when you get people that are at your stage now, a lot of the attributes that you had as a child are probably still there. And I don't want the young people to miss that. There's stuff that's inside of you that people might complain about, but it's unique to you. It's your gift. It's what's going to get you to where you're going to go. So I want to talk a little bit about that part, you being an activist. First of all, what did it feel like? What did it feel like when you walked around school and you were the mouthy one, acting like, I have to stand up for this. I have a voice and I'm going to use it. What did that actually physically feel like? And why were you ready to get in trouble for it? And how many times were you expelled?
Twice.
Twice.
It feels like a responsibility. I don't know, I just felt like I had a bit of a responsibility to speak up for people that wouldn't speak up for themselves. And I think it came from my mum and dad, if I'm honest. So my mum's French-Moroccan, but she's also Jewish. But she would never, ever tell anybody that she was Jewish. It's a very strong Muslim community in East London. She would never wear a Star of David. And it used to kill me that she never felt like she could be herself, like, you know, be her true, authentic self and be proud of the journey that she'd been on as a woman, but is also, you know, a Jew. And she still, to this day, will not wear her Star of David. And she's not, like, she's a naughty Jew. She's not a proper Jew. You know, she has bacon, like, you know, she's naughty. But I think it came from that. But then on the opposite, from the opposite of that was my dad, who was such an activist, like somebody that really stood up for himself. He was the only person in school with black hair. He went to Stepney Green Boys School. And him and his brother were the only two kids in the school with black hair, other than Billy Ocean, who they went to school with as well. So, you know, the things that he talks to me about, I can really resonate with, and I see that today in the roles that I'm in. So I feel like, you know, if you've got the confidence and you're brave and you really believe that, you know, there's certain things that should be said or certain things that should be brought to the surface that need to be discussed, then someone's got to do that. So that was me.
I really, really love that, Yona. My dad's a massive inspiration to me. He used to take me around singing from when I was just like 5 years old. And a lot of my attributes I get from him, and seeing like the difference between my mum and dad's personalities. I see it all in me now. So I love the fact that you said that. And guys, I just don't want you to miss what she said about it felt like a responsibility. And at some point today, I want you guys to just think about what it feels like for you. The things that you're passionate about, is it music, is it fashion, whatever it is, what does it feel like to you? Does it feel like a responsibility? Does it feel like this strong urge to do it? Don't ignore that, because it's going to still be present in you, like Yona's is still present in her, even though it was there in primary school too.
The other thing I'd add to that is I don't think you really truly appreciate how your parents show up in you as you go through life. And I think it took me a while. I've always literally been obsessed with my mum and dad. They are like my inspiration. They're the reason I work so hard. I was insistent on retiring them. So that's really been my purpose in life, I'd say, like making sure that they're good. But as I've sort of moved on in life, I look at them and think there's so much of me. The reason why I am who I am, the reason why I've been able to do what I can do is because of how they brought me up, the things that they taught me. And I don't think you really develop an appreciation for your parents until you get to a certain age. So my advice to you at this age would be curious about your parents, like ask them questions, understand their journey, understand what they went through in life. Like, be clear on what sacrifices they've made for you to be able to sit here today in this incredible space. At some point, you're going to use that. At some point, you're going to sit here in the way that I am today, and you're going to likely reference somebody in your life that's been an inspiration to you.
Wow, I've got so much to chop up with you, Yona. I don't know where to start. But let's start talking about fashion a little bit, speaking for itself, of course. But what about the young people that want to get into fashion? Selfridges is absolutely huge. It's a power brand is what I call them. It's really mighty. And sometimes, for someone like me, the most I could aspire to at that age was becoming a customer assistant. And I did apply for a job in Selfridges, and I let them know, because they didn't give it to me. And they should be regretting it. I got through the second stage. They didn't give it, but it's their loss, because look at me today.
I hope that won't me.
What's your advice to the young people in the room that would want to get into Selfridges or want to be in your position? How do they even start that and then work their way through?
How do you even start it? I think whatever it is you want to do, fashion, and anything, I think you need to You need to think about what is it you want to get from what you're about to go into. What's the purpose? It could be your first job, or it could be the first job that's going to link to your second, to your third, that's going to start building your career. But what is it you're really trying to get out of that first role that you're applying for? I fell into fashion. It wasn't I studied psychology and English at university. I wanted to be a psychologist. My dad was devastated when I got a full-time job in a shoe shop and said, I'm going to work my way up in the fashion industry. I'm not going to be a psychologist. I don't want to go and do a master's. I'm done with studying. He was absolutely devastated. I was the first person to go to university in my family. Wow. But I was super clear from day one that I found something that I loved, that I enjoyed. I was surrounded by people for the first time that were outside of my family and my friend network. I was learning from lots of different people that lived in loads of different places all over London and come from loads of different cultural backgrounds. And I just found myself in a place where I was like, my day felt rich, it felt purposeful, like I was going in, I could have impact. I was a 6 seller, by the way. I was a number 1 seller in every single job that I went into. And that's what got me noticed. But the reason I was a 6 seller is coming back to my point that I was insistent on retiring my parents. That has been my purpose in life, to make sure that I earn good money, that I can have a good life, that I don't need to worry about going into my overdraft, that if I want to buy a house, I can. If I want to move abroad, I can. Like, that has been my purpose, not necessarily being successful in fashion, earning great money so I can have a good life and not have to worry. And I wanted to do that for my mum and dad. So I think be clear on your purpose. But if you're not clear on that yet, experiment, but be clear. At least have one thing. If you're going to go and apply for a job and it's fashion or it's retail, like I said to my brother when he was young, you don't know what you want to do, fine. Come into retail. The one thing that's going to do is going to build your confidence. It's going to teach you how to talk, how to converse, how to communicate. You're going to meet lots of different people from lots of different backgrounds, and you're going to be able to hold yourself in any conversation in any room, because that's what a customer-facing role teaches you how to do. And that's a skill that you don't get in many corporate businesses when you're going into banks, or you're in rooms, you're in meeting rooms constantly. You're not really talking to people in the public. And that's why I love retail. I see people start their job on day one and they're a nervous wreck. And 5 years later, they're up on stage presenting the brands that they want us to buy and sell in the shop.
Yeah, Yona, you're my type of girl. You really are. You're saying some things, I'm just like, whoa, I feel like I'm in a TED Talk. I feel like Mr. JR cheated us. We should have had like an hour and a half to talk. But I want to touch on 2 things before we go to the fire round, and I just don't want these guys to miss it. What I love what you've done, Yona, is you've taken the emphasis in this conversation off of position, off of like there being a particular destination, and you've put this emphasis on purpose and confidence and all the things that happens in your mind to get you to where you want to be. And I personally believe those are the most important things when you're thinking about your career. So many things can change, but those skills of resilience, of having a purpose, knowing where you want to go, that's the ship that's going to get you to where you want to go. And I just don't want you guys to miss that. You might want to be DJs, artists. There's so many dreams I can imagine in this room, but what you need to know, the most important things are what's your purpose? Why do you want to do that? Because what you want to do might change, but your why probably won't. And also the fact that there are different seasons. Yona said she was at one point in a shoe shop. She was doing her degree. Then it was full-time this. Then it was, and here she is now. And it was always about retiring her parents and having enough resource to live the life that she wants. That's the same for you guys. What's your purpose? Why do you want to do what you want to do? What are the skills you need inside to get you there? Do you need to be more resilient? Do you need to grow your confidence? Those are the things you need to focus on. Yona, you are a superstar woman. Wow. Okay, fire round, because we've still got 2 more panels and they're going to be really jealous that I don't give them as much time as you. You hear that? He's telling me I'm jealous.
We're going to swap jackets so you can look as fly as me.
Stop it, I'm first dibs. One piece of advice you're bowing out, you're going to live in Bali with your parents, you got all the money you need, you got all the shoes, you got all the recoins you need, everything is there, and you're bowing out of London, and you've got the microphone at the airport, and you got one last thing to say to the young people, what would it be?
Oh, God, that's a big question. By the way, I do want to say none of that stuff matters. In the grand scheme of life, what you're wearing, what's in your wardrobe, I was not sensible with the money that I earned when I was young. So maybe my advice would be, I think be curious. Like, whatever it is you go into, whoever it is you meet, like, I wish I asked so many more questions as I was coming up through the ranks. I wish I was more of myself. It's taken a journey to get to accepting that I do sit in a very senior role in a fantastic business, but I am a girl that grew up on a council estate in East London, and I have a very strong Cockney accent. And for a very long time, I put on that phone voice. That Cockney accent did not exist as I was coming up through the ranks. So as much as I am an activist for other people, I wasn't necessarily an activist for myself. But that's gone. Like, that is totally gone. Imposter syndrome is like, it doesn't exist now. But that's been a journey. So I think I'd say, cherish who you are, embrace who you are, be yourself. Don't ever compromise holding back from being authentically you, because that is what makes you special. That's what people will notice. That's what people will fall in love with. But you do have to work at that. There is a staged version of you that you need to bring into the world to be successful. And I think it was Tanya that said it earlier, like, it is not hard, it's not easy, it is hard. I've not been surrounded by people that have wanted me to be successful. I've had to work hard to help them be successful, to get myself into that room where I can then enjoy that success, but not repeat the mistakes that they made, which is not bring people on that journey. The biggest thing for me that I love about the role that I have is that I can open doors for people that somebody else did not open when they sat in my seat prior. Like, so again, it just comes back to, like, knowing your purpose, but be yourself. Bring your authentic self to whatever you do every day.
Yeah, absolutely incredible. Guys, please give a massive round of applause to Yona Christodoulou. Get it right, Christodoulou.